I'd like to talk to you about AI assisted speaker prospecting for association and society gigs. Well, I put together a PowerPoint, so let me launch that. Now, why I think it's important to talk about AI assisted speaker prospecting is because let's face it, everybody's talking about how we're going to use AI. Aiden's been building new tools left and right, and I wanted to kind of mix a little bit of analog and digital to get you thinking. So as we proceed, first I'd like you to take just a minute and read this statement that I put up. I don't need to read it for you. You can do it yourself, but this is what Aiden and I are trying to achieve for you with the ASSC. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't, but take a look and understand that our goal is to help you ultimately get more speaking gigs with trade associations and professional societies. Not necessarily to make you a better speaker, not necessarily just to make things a little bit faster, but actually help you get those gigs. So with that, we need to look at prospecting. So what are the two biggest problems? Okay. I think that speakers get really just tied up in the minutia. And I don't think that enough speakers create an outreach strategy. And then behind that, there is call reluctance. Once the outreach is done, then there's this reluctance to follow up in a meaningful way. So let's talk about how you can have an outreach strategy. I'm going to talk to you about several different things, and you may want to employ one, two, or all of the tactics I'm going to throw at you. If you were to take all of these tactics and roll them up into your strategy, that might make a difference. So understand that the association people that you're going after, they smell your fear. If you haven't done a substantial job in strategic positioning of yourself, and if you don't understand how to be persistent, you won't thrive. But if you do, you will thrive. And I will just remind you that if you are an ASSC member, we created the Keynote Accelerator to help you get yourself a little bit better organized. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I want to throw at you to be strategic with your positioning and strategic with your persistence, and you will thrive. When I say strategic with your persistence, understand the difference between calling them back every week and having a strategy as far as follow-up. Now, I want to talk to you about using large language models, which is effectively ChatGPT and Perplexity and others for a prospecting strategy. Now, I think if you look at queries based on industry, there are over 100 listed industries in the old NTPA. And if you're a member of the ASSC, we, at this link right here that I have on the screen, we have that resource for you where it's the list of 125 industries. So you can use that in your queries. And the thing that we'll talk about later is with every query, always ask at the end, list more, list more, list more, list more, because you and I both know that they can only, the large language models can only give you a certain amount of response, and you have to keep asking for more. You can do queries based on national or state organizations. In the old NTPA that you've heard me over the years talk about, there are 7,500 national associations listed. And many of those organizations also have 50 or more affiliated chapters. You can do queries based on geography. Now, I've chatted with many ASSC members that have said, I don't want to travel. Maybe you still have kids at home. Maybe you want to work close to where you are. Stay within your state, stay within your region, totally fine, whatever you like. And you can do this. We have a list of state societies of association executives in the download section, if you're an ASSC member, that can also help you with that. You can do queries based on the month, okay? Associations generally are looking 6 months to 12 months out. So we're at the end of January right now. So you might start wanting to look for July and beyond. Now, understand that the spring and the fall are the two big times for association meetings, not exclusively, but spring and fall. So if you're looking right now, you might be smart to start looking, maybe not even in July or August, but even start in September, because that's when September, October, November tend to be the big fall months for association meetings. And right now in January, that's when you might want to be looking. We also have for ASSC members, we have a list of associations by their meeting month, and here's the link. And I think that the magic that is available to you with AI is customized introductory electronic and voice messaging. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So I think what I'd like to do is go live, and I'm going to stop sharing my PowerPoint. I've pulled up Perplexity because of the fact that I like Perplexity. And if we look at this, I put a query in to Perplexity. Find all 501c6. Okay, now that's a tax code. Most trade associations are 501c6s. Some are C3s, C4s, but most are C6s. Trade associations representing the distribution industry and include their website addresses. So I've done that for you. You can look here, and the answer, it pulls up quite a number of associations in the distribution industry. And it's got their URL to where you can go right to their URL and find them. But you notice it only gave me 10 or 9, I mean. So the thing that I keep suggesting to people and always say, put in there, always follow up with list more. Okay, here we go. So we have an additional 10. Just for fun, let's do list more again. Okay, so it's popping up another whole bunch. So the point I want to make, when you're looking, you're going after an industry. Now remember, if you're an ASSC member, as I said before, we have a list of 125 industries in the download section. But if you're not, you can just try various industries that you might have an interest in. This is one way to go after finding, if you want to go one vertical rather than spray and pray, if you want to go one vertical, and this is how you can do it. So let's also look at organizations. Let's see. I pulled up another, I have these ready for you. I pulled up another query. I said, find all national trade associations with affiliated chapters, and I asked for the URLs. So if we look here, it's interesting. It only gave me 5. Let me hit list more just for fun. Some different, but some the same. Let's get a little bit better list. Okay, let's look at this here. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. How about number 7? Associated General Contractors of America. Let's click on that link and see what it gives us. Okay, so it's taking me to the AGC page where all the chapters are. And let's see what happens. I'll just click. I'm in California, so I'll click on California. Let's see what it gives me. Gave me the 2 chapters in California. One in Sacramento, Northern California, where the capital is, and one way south in Southern California, the chapter. Now, just for fun, let's click on Texas and see what we get. Texas is a good sized state. Okay, well, there's quite a bit more. Okay, so in Texas, they have an AGC chapter in Houston, Southeast Texas, Texas Highway, Austin, Central, Panhandle. Now, just as an FYI, to let you know, AGC, Associated General Contractors, those are the big boys in construction. They're the ones that build horizontal and vertical. Their vertical are very, very large buildings, and the horizontal tends to be things like highways, bridges, so forth, and so on. So that's something that you can do. I would encourage you, if you want to work locally, as we talked about before, you can just do this, or we can do other queries also. Let me go back. Okay. Then I put this query in. It says, list all trade associations and professional societies with business addresses in the greater Austin, Texas area. Now, the reason I did this, okay, if you want to work more locally in your state, most of the trade associations and professional societies will probably be clustered around the state capital. And so I popped to see what is there in Austin. And we've got nurse practitioners, medical association, Texas Hospital, Chamber of Commerce, Builders Associations, Bar, Association of Business. But again, as I always say, let's go list more. Because my guess is there's probably a good 100 trade associations close to Austin. And it's given me a whole list. Oh, it even gives me here the Texas Society of Association Executives. Now, as an example, let's go over to Texas Society of Association Executives. If you're an ASSC member, we have in the download section, we have all of the state Society of Association Executives listed with the URLs for you. So this is something else that that you might want to do. Now, let me go into, just for fun, I'm going to move over to the ASSC website. Now, I said to you, if you want the list, that's right here, the NTPA Association list. You can download it if you're a member. That's 125. The state and local associations, again, you can download that if you're a member. But we talked earlier about something that Aiden built. So many of speakers kind of really suck when it comes to positioning. And Aiden built this Keynote Accelerator tool to help you. If you click on this, it will help you with, you can see there's certain queries, information you have to put in, and then it will spit out a more customized listing if you were to do fill out a request for a proposal. So you would, here would give you the information, And where you can use this in particular, if we go over here, if you come down here to the association event calendar. Now, I'm not going to get into this too heavy because I talked about this quite a bit at the last ASSC meeting, Aiden and I, on our AI. But on this page is associations listed with their meetings by month. And you can just go through. Many of them have lots of information where it might be the email addresses of the executive director, the URLs of the association, or even about their meeting, so forth and so on. Aiden and I worked together just recently to create, Aiden calls this event calendar keynote customizer. I like to just call it the unfair advantage. Okay. I'll just tell you honestly, for you ASSC members, you should be using this thing every day. This is truly the unfair advantage. Now, if you're not an ASSC member, you can do something similar. But what this is, and if you're an ASSC member, watch last week's ASSC meeting, and Aiden goes through this and explains completely how to use this. But the idea is you can pick anything you want from this list, put it in, and then this accelerator that Aiden built, and actually he and I worked on it together to get it just the way I wanted it. It will then give you a introductory letter based on the helping that association to know, number one, that you understand their business. Number two, that your material solves problems that their members have. And number three, that you are the person to deliver that. It also gives you a 20-second phone mail message. So you can send this email off, email customized introductory, make a quick phone message, say, and use the customized template or the script for this phone message and say, I just sent you an email and, when available, I'd love to chat with you about that. So these are ways that you can just, I hate to say kick ass, but you can really just kick ass. So the thing that I think it's really important to think about, remember, I just threw at you a whole bunch of ideas with prospecting, and that prospecting is step one. No question. Prospecting is step one. But what you got to also remember, it's only step one. You have to be able to sell. Selling is step two. Now we'll do another workshop not too far down the road, maybe even for next month's networking, and actually how to sell once you've done your introductory. But I think that today, using AI, not only to help you find associations, but to help you write customized introductory letters. And I did, I think the last workshop we did for the prospecting, I talked about what those introductory letters should include. So go back and watch that workshop, and you can put that into your query. But use AI to help you when you don't really have a strategy. Maybe you can create a strategy. And I'm going to take you back to this page. I would encourage everybody, do a quick screen capture of this page. And this will help you to look at the ways that you can use AI to assist you in finding associations and in getting an introductory letter off to them. So with that, Aiden, I'm going to turn it back to you. Everybody, good luck.